Hi guys! Today me and Steve are going to watch a video where Steve's dice figure will be smashed with a hammer. Look! Now the hammer is testing Steve in different armor.
Hi guys, so far this hammer's doing very well. No armor helps to escape it.
You're right, probably because this hammer is flying at a very high speed and it's spinning. It's awesome!
Hey Alex, you won't believe what happened to me the other day while I was mining. I was deep underground, you know, the usual diamond hunting, and I stumbled upon a cave filled with creepers.
Oh no! Did you manage to get out safely?
Just wait. So there I was, surrounded by 3 of them. I thought I could sneak past them, but of course, one of them spotted me and started hissing.
Huge hammer.
I panicked and started running, but in my haste, I accidentally hit another creeper.
Hammer.
Oh no! You triggered a chain reaction, didn't you?
Exactly. They all started exploding one after the other. I was like, this is it. I'm going to explode in a firework of green. When the dust settled, I realized I was surprisingly still alive, but my entire tunnel was gone.
I can just picture it. An amateur miner's disaster with creepers flying everywhere. What did you do next?
Well, after I gathered my wits, I climbed back up to the surface, but as I emerged from the cave, I found myself right in the middle of a giant zombie horde. It was like they were waiting for me.
Talk about bad luck. Were you able to fight them off?
Let's just say I've never appreciated a bow and arrow more in my life. I stayed back and took them out one by one from a distance. Afterward, I was so relieved I celebrated by making a cake, only to realize I didn't have any eggs.
Cake without eggs? That's a Minecraft tragedy. Speaking of odd moments, I had something funny happen while fishing in the river.
Oh, do tell.
So, I was trying to catch some fish, sitting on the bank, when suddenly I got a bite. I reared back to reel it in, but instead of a fish, I pulled out a name tag.
A name tag? What were you planning to name?
I had no idea. But right after that, a salmon jumped out of the water and smacked me right in the face. It was like the fish was offended by my fishing skills.
That is classic. Did you let that salmon get away after that?
Of course not. I chased it down, thinking I was going to catch it like some kind of fishmaster, but it slipped through my fingers and jumped back into the water. I just sat there, soaked and defeated, thinking it might be time to take up a different hobby.
Maybe terracotta building instead? Less chance of fish retaliating.
Can you imagine? Alex the terracotta architect. I can just see it now. Designs that include a moat to protect my creations from angry fish.
Now that would be a building challenge worth seeing. You know, for all our odd adventures, I wouldn't trade our story time for anything.
Me neither. Each moment just adds to the memories, and I can't wait to see what trouble we'll get into next.
Do you remember that time we were exploring the Nether and ended up in that massive fortress?
Oh, how could I forget? We were totally unprepared, and you just had that one iron sword.
Right, I thought we were being brave. So we wander in, and the first blaze we encounter just bursts into flames and starts shooting fireballs at us.
I panicked and ran straight into a wall. I kept yelling, "Why is it shooting? Why is it shooting?"
Meanwhile, I was trying to fight it off, but all I could do was wave my sword around like a madman. Felt like I was trying to swat a fly with a baseball bat.
And then I remembered I had brought a bucket of water. I thought I could douse the blaze and save the day, but instead, I just ended up setting myself on fire.
You started screaming, "Help! I'm on fire!" while I was still trying to figure out how to defeat that blaze. I was like, "Can you focus? You're about to die."
It was chaos. I finally managed to extinguish myself and got back into the fight, but then I accidentally hit you with my sword.
I know. You turned around and there I was, just trying to regain my composure and bam, friendly fire.
I spent so much time trying to apologize that a gas swooped in and started shooting its fireballs at us. Talk about a bad day.
I remember running around yelling just when I thought things couldn't get worse, while you were trying to build a quick shelter.
You know what's funny? By the end of it, we didn't even get anything good out of that fortress. Just a few nether warts and a lot of bruised egos.
Honestly, though, it was one of the funniest adventures we've had. The way we handled that situation, well, let's just say we're not exactly the best team in the Nether.
Agreed. But that's what makes our adventures memorable. Who needs treasure when you have epic laugh-out-loud stories to tell?
For sure. So what's next on our agenda? More nether misadventures? Or maybe we should finally build that epic treehouse we've been talking about?
Definitely the treehouse. I need a break from running for my life, but let's promise not to invite any blazes, okay?
Deal, just don't bring any buckets of water. Hey Alex, remember that time we were exploring those deep caverns and thought we found a hidden treasure?
Oh, how could I forget? We were so excited thinking we'd strike it rich. I still can't believe we got so carried away.
Right? We started digging through the walls, convinced we were just one block away from a chest full of diamonds. I had my pickaxe out and we were both shouting, "This has to be it!"
And just as I broke that last block, I saw something glittering in the distance, and I screamed, "Diamonds!" We both rushed forward, but it turned out to be a shiny piece of gravel.
Oh man, the look on your face. You were so hopeful, and then reality hit like a zombie in the night.
Yeah! And then, to add insult to injury, we heard this terrible noise behind us. I turn around, and there's a horde of skeletons shooting arrows at us. It was like they were laughing with us. No! At us!
I remember you saying something like, "Great, now we're gonna be the ones who get shot to pieces because of our treasure hunt."
Exactly. We ended up scrambling up that cliff, trying to dodge arrows while I kept shouting, "Why did we dig straight into a skeleton spawner?"
It turned out to be a trap, just like one of those horror movie scenes. I was hoping for gold and silver, and all we got was a giant welcome sign from the skeletons.
And just when we thought we were safe, I tripped over some vines and fell right back down into the cave. Right in front of that skeleton mob. I was like, "No!"
You really should have seen yourself. You popped back up like a zombie coming back for revenge. But the best part was when I tried to save you, and I ended up taking an arrow to the knee myself.
Oh, I couldn't stop laughing. We both jumped and ran back. And somehow, despite all that chaos, we made it out alive with only a few hearts left.
And let's not forget that we didn't even log out with any loot. Just some broken hopes and a bunch of arrows stuck in our backs. Classic us.
Definitely. But that's part of the fun, right? It's moments like those that make our adventures so memorable.
Absolutely. So what's next? Should we try to conquer that mountain we've been on, or go back to that cave and face our skeleton foes like brave adventurers?
I say we go for the mountain. Who knows? We might find something better than treasure up there. Like a nice view without any skeletons.
Sounds like a plan. Let's make some new epic stories. But this time we'll remember to bring the torches and watch our backs.
Bye-bye, dear friends. Like and subscribe to the channel and write comments. We will read everything. Bye-bye, everyone. Ollie, dear friends, today me and Steve will watch a cool animation crocodile bombardillo in Minecraft.
These guys fell out of some portal in the sky. Apparently, they fell into the world of Italian brain rot memes.
But they're an interesting bunch, Steve. Skeleton, zombie, pig zombie. I thought those guys couldn't be friends.
Is it just me, or did the portal just laugh at them and disappear? It's pretty funny. I guess it threw them into this world on purpose.
This is some kind of weird dimension. Nothing around. Everyone's acting weird, and why did the portal even bring them here?
They don't seem very happy with what's going on, and they don't understand it as well as we do, but it's funny.
Yeah, it does look fun. They have funny eyes, but what's with the mysterious stranger who glitches? He looks scary.
Yeah, he doesn't look very kind, and why is he standing back? I don't think you should go near him.
And there's some other cars parked next to it. It's both scary and funny at the same time. It's funny.
It looks like they're deciding who's going to go to him. But they didn't notice the Nubik was missing. He's on his way.
Hey, Steve! Have you heard about that massive threat in our world? The Crocodilo Bombardillo! It's a giant crocodile plane that shoots rockets!
Yeah, I've seen it flying around. It's wreaking havoc on the villages. We need to come up with a plan to defeat it. Any ideas?
Well, I was thinking we could set a trap. If we lure it into a specific area, we can ambush it with some explosives.
That sounds risky, but could work. But how do we lure it in without getting blasted ourselves?
We could create a decoy. Maybe build something that looks like an important structure it would target, like a village or our base. While it's distracted, we could hide and wait for the right moment.
That's a good idea. We should also gather some armor and weapons. That thing probably has some serious firepower. Do you think we can craft some potions for protection too?
Absolutely! We can brew some splash potions of fire resistance. If it fires at us, at least we'll have a chance to withstand the blast.
All right, once we have everything ready, we need to choose the right location for the trap. What about that clearing by the lake? It's open, and there's nowhere for it to hide.
Perfect! If we set up our decoy there, we can get the jump on it. We just need to make sure we have plenty of arrows and maybe some TNT for the final blow.
Sounds like a solid plan. Let's get to work then. We can't let this giant crocodile plane cause any more destruction in our world.
Yeah, together we can do this. Let's show that Crocodilo Bombardilo what real heroes are made of.
Have you ever thought about how wild it would be to fight that giant flying crocodile, the Crocodilo Bombardilo?
Oh, absolutely. Imagine it swooping down from the sky, those rockets launching, and us dodging like crazy. I mean, how would we even go about taking it down?
You know, my first thought is to use some kind of bait. Like if we had a giant fish or something really shiny, maybe we could lure it away from the village.
That could work. But what if it just ignores the bait? It's a giant flying crocodile. It probably has a mind of its own. We need something that can really distract it.
Right! What if we set up a trap? We could build a massive pit with some TNT at the bottom. When it swoops down to investigate, we could trigger the explosion, pauses dramatically, and boom, no more Crocodilo Bombardilo.
Now that's a plan. But we'd have to be super careful not to fall in ourselves. Maybe we could create a roller coaster track to maneuver around it while we wait for the perfect moment to strike.
A roller coaster? That's genius. I can already imagine the thrill, zooming around, dodging its bombs while planning our attack. We definitely need some speed potions.
And what about those rocket launchers? We could craft some crossbows with special arrows. You know, explosive arrows. We time it just right, shoot right when it's diving down.
Oh man, that would look so cool. Laughs. But what if it fires back? We'd need a solid plan for defense. Maybe some obsidian blocks to shield us when the bombs start dropping.
Totally. We'd need a whole fortress made of obsidian just to withstand the fallout from those rockets. And we could set up some decoys around the area.
Decoy army. Just imagine a bunch of Steve and Alex clones running around distracting it while we prepare our grand finale attack. The sheer chaos would be brilliant.
I love it. But you'd think we'd need any allies? I mean, maybe getting a few villagers to help could improve our chances. They could provide some moral support, right?
Absolutely. Plus, they might have some hidden tactics we've never even thought of. Villagers always have the best ideas, especially when it comes to farming.
Oh, they just turned the whole fight into a massive farm picnic, complete with cake and everything. Smirking. But honestly, imagining all this is more fun than actually facing it, don't you think?
Totally. Who wouldn't want to brainstorm epic battles and ridiculous scenarios for a flying crocodile drone monster? Let's just keep it as our wild fantasy.
Agreed! Who needs to actually battle that? We can just sit back and enjoy the idea of being champions in the realm of imagination.
Remember when you met the Herobrine? You want to tell me about it?
As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across my Minecraft world, I found myself exploring a dense forest, the rustling leaves whispering secrets of adventures yet to come. It was one of those evenings where everything felt just right, until it didn't. My heart raced as I wandered deeper, drawn by a strange chill in the air, as if the very essence of the game had shifted. I had heard the stories, of course. The whispers of players around campfires, tales of a mysterious figure lurking in the shadows. Herobrine! I had brushed them off as mere legends, figments of imagination spun from the fear of the dark. But as I navigated through the towering trees, a flicker of movement caught my eye. There, in the distance, was a silhouette that didn't belong. Curiosity piqued, I approached cautiously, my hands trembling on the keyboard. The figure stood eerily still, clad in a blocky form that was unsettlingly familiar yet different. It was Herobrine, a ghostly version of Steve with hollow glowing eyes that seemed to pierce through the fabric of reality. My heart pounded in my chest. I was frozen, caught between fear and fascination. Who are you? I found myself whispering, as if speaking aloud would shatter the tense atmosphere. But the figure didn't respond. Instead, it tilted its head slightly, almost curiously, before it vanished in a blink, replaced by a cloud of particles that streamed into the air. I scanned the area, adrenaline surging through me as I tried to comprehend what just happened. I began to wonder if I had imagined it, but then I noticed something. A trail of blocks had been altered in my wake. Some trees had been cut down, and the ground was marred with strange patterns. It was as if Herobrine had left a mark. A chilling reminder that I wasn't alone in this blocky world. As I returned to my base, I stared at the cobblestone walls I had built, now feeling more like a cage than a home. The encounter replayed in my mind like a haunting dream. I knew I had to tell others. I had witnessed something incredible, something that would add to the tapestry of myths in our community. From that day on, every time I ventured into the world after sunset, I kept my eyes peeled, half expecting to see those glowing eyes watching me from the shadows. Even if no one believed my story, it felt real to me. Herobrine was out there, lurking just beyond the light, a ghostly reminder of the mysteries that lay within Minecraft, waiting for the brave and perhaps the foolish to uncover. Hey guys, today me and Steve will be watching a review on every Shin Sonic vs. new Mimicker mod.
Yeah, Mimicker will fight against all the Sonics today. That's cool.
The Sonics will all be in different phases. I'm very interested to see how they get stronger each time they do it.
The Mimicker looks really scary. Can he really beat all the Sonics?
Now Sonic Phase 1 will fight Mimicker. I bet Sonic will be too weak.
This Sonic is so small, he doesn't stand a chance against a Mimicker. You need a Sonic with a bigger phase.
I feel sorry for him. He was such a cutie. I hope the bigger Sonics get revenge for him, but I don't even know who can beat Mimicker.
Now, there will also be a Sonic from Phase 1, but he is from another mod. I think he will fail too, but he is bigger than the previous one.
He was killed too, even faster than the last one. Mimicker is really very strong and scary. Steve, could you beat Mimicker?
Good question. I think we can check it out in one of the next videos. What do you subscribers think?
Mimicker has already defeated 3 Sonics. I doubt you can kill him, but you're right. Let's check it out sometime. I'm very interested.
We have a total of 5 Sonics in each phase. I understand that none of them can defeat Mimicker. I wonder what will happen in the second phase.
This Sonic died with 1 hit. You are right. Phase 1. Sonics are very weak and can't handle Mimicker yet.
I think it's time to move on to Phase 2. I'm very curious about the outcome. Now he's going to take all the eggs and we'll start checking.
Wow, this video has so much action. I can't believe all the new features in this add-on.
I know! It's amazing how creative the community is. Every time I think I've seen it all, something new pops up.
The Mimicker's abilities are definitely going to change the way we play. I can't wait to see how it mimics different characters.
Speaking of characters, Sonic is such a classic. Every time I see him, I remember how fast he is. I wonder if we could find a way to incorporate that speed into our gameplay.
That would be awesome! Imagine sprinting through a forest like Sonic. We get resources in no time.
Exactly! And the phases he's got in the video look amazing. Each one just adds another layer. We could totally use that for our builds too.
For sure. You know, I always thought it would be fun to recreate some of Sonic's levels in Minecraft. Just think about the loops and speed boosts.
That sounds like a blast! And it would challenge our building skills too. Maybe we should set up a competition. Who can build a better Sonic-themed area?
I'm in! And we could use some Mimicker tactics to throw each other off while we build. That would definitely keep things interesting.
Oh, totally. Plus, watching how the Mimicker interacts with Sonic in the video is a great learning opportunity. We should take notes.
Absolutely! And it's also cool how these mods bring such different gameplay styles together. I love how it keeps things fresh and exciting.
Definitely. We should keep an eye out for more updates like this one. It's always fun to see what new surprises are around the corner.
Agreed. Now, let's finish up watching this video. I want to see if there are any new strategies we can pick up for our next adventure.
I can tell you the story of how I met Mimicker in Minecraft. You want to hear it?
Come on, I want to hear it.
As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an eerie shadow over the blocky landscape, Steve felt a chill run down his spine. He had ventured deep into the dark forest, a place known for its towering trees and unsettling silence, where the light struggled to penetrate the thick canopy above. Every step he took crunched softly against the underbrush, echoing in the stillness as he made his way deeper into the woods, his torch flickering in his hand.
And what happened next?
Suddenly, something caught his eye.
Hi guys, today me and Steve will watch a video about brain-rot Italian animals in Minecraft. It will be cool.
Yes, you're right. Today, all the Italian animals will be doing this obstacle course.
Look, it looks like some kind of monkey or bear combined with fish. It looks scary, and there are flies flying around.
His name is Trippy Trippy. He's quite popular. I've seen him many times in different videos.
He's so small. He looked big in the picture. Oh no, he fell under the first trap.
Really sorry to hear about this funny fish, but need to move on to the next one. The next one is Bobrini Coccosini. I like him a lot. Pretty cute.
It's as small as Treepy Tropa Treepy. But you're right, it's very cute. The beaver combined with the coconut, I like that better.
And he also knows how to roll over in his coconut. That's cool, but he died on the first test too. Too bad.
Wait, he still has a chance to get out. Why are you in a hurry? I hope that cute coconut can get out.
I was really hasty, look. He got out of that trap. That's very cool. I congratulate him.
Now he's facing a second trial, and I wonder what's gonna happen.
He's been given a sword, so he's gonna fight some kind of opponent. It's a cool challenge. I like it.
I have faith in this coconut. He almost won. The golem has some HP left.
Too bad this coconut didn't pass the second test, even though he had a little bit left and would have killed the golem.
I stumbled upon them the other day. Bombardiro Crocodilo just sounds so outrageous. I can't help but laugh every time I read it.
Right, and then there's Tralalero Tralala. It's just so catchy, it's like they're all part of some crazy Italian circus.
Exactly. And don't forget Lirali Lorela. It seems like every name is a tongue twister. It's fun to say them out loud.
True. And what about Bombambini Gusini? It feels like a Pokemon or something.
Haha, I can totally see that. Then we have Mussini Quadricoptini, which is such an odd combination. A mouse and a drone?
Yes, and Tong 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 Sahur is another one that sticks in my mind. Almost sounds like a song or a chant.
It does! Speaking of which, Brr Brr Patapim has this beat to it that makes me want to dance. I can imagine a whole meme dance craze around it.
Heh, that would be something. And then there's Bobrito Bandito. I can just picture a bandit tortoise with that name stealing all the spaghetti.
A very slow-paced heist. Cappuccino Assassino sounds like a mafia movie character or something.
Totally, and La Vaca Saturno Saturnita has this cosmic vibe like a cow from outer space.
Right? It makes you wonder about what kind of adventures they have up there. Ballerina Cappuccina is another head-scratcher. A dancing coffee.
You can't make this stuff up. I still can't get over Beneca Ambalabu. What even is that supposed to be?
Just more Italian nonsense, I guess. And Burbaloni Lulioli is just whimsical, like a twisty cartoon character.
I love it. Chimpanzini Bonanini is the best. It takes monkey memes to a whole new level.
For sure! And how can we forget Trippy Troppy Troppa Trippa? That just sounds like a mouthful.
It's perfect in its absurdity. This whole meme trend is definitely something special.
Agreed! It's nice to have these quirky little bursts of creativity to make us smile.
Remember when you met Ballerina Cappuccina in Minecraft? Do you want to tell me about it?
As I logged into my Minecraft world one crisp morning, I was filled with determination. My mission: to find the legendary Ballerino Cappuccino. I had heard whispers of this magnificent creature, a mesmerizing dancing cappuccino-colored llama that could only be found deep in the enchanted forests on the outskirts of my realm. Legend had it that Ballerino Cappuccino would only reveal itself to those brave enough to overcome a series of trials. The sun was just rising, casting a golden hue over the pixelated landscape. I equipped my trusty diamond sword and packed my inventory with essential supplies, food, torches, and a few potions for unforeseen challenges. Setting off, I ventured through the rolling hills and dense woodlands, my heart racing with excitement and anticipation.
Wow, what happened next?
As I traversed the forest, I faced numerous obstacles. First, I had to navigate a treacherous ravine filled with lava. I carefully crafted a bridge using cobblestone, my fingers trembling as I balanced over the fiery chasm. The thought of Ballerino Cappuccino kept me focused. I could almost envision its graceful dance as I crossed to safety. Next, I stumbled upon a dark cave filled with menacing mobs. The eerie silence was interrupted by the sounds of growls and hissing. Drawing my sword, I bravely confronted a horde of zombies and skeletons. Each swing felt like a battle for my very quest. The thrill of the fight pushed me forward, and soon the cave was clear. I couldn't help but smile. I was one step closer to finding Ballerino Cappuccino.
Very cool. Keep going. I'm interested.
Emerging from the cave, I found myself in the heart of the enchanted forest. The air was thick with magic, and the trees seemed to whisper secrets to one another. Suddenly, I spotted a shimmering light in the distance. My heart raced as I approached, weaving between towering trees and vibrant flowers. There, in a small clearing, I saw it. Ballerino Cappuccino, dancing in a sunlit spot, its fur glistening like the finest coffee under the sun. I stood in awe, watching as the llama twirled and leaped, showcasing its grace. This was it. The moment I had worked so hard for. I slowly approached, my heart pounding in my chest, and offered it some golden apples I had saved for this encounter. Ballerino Cappuccino paused, looking at me with curious eyes before nosing the apples gently.
I'm hoping to find someone in Minecraft too, and how did it end?
As I fed the magnificent creature, I felt a rush of joy. This wasn't just a quest. It was an adventure filled with challenges, and the reward was beyond what I could have imagined. I had not only found Ballerino Cappuccino, but had also proven my bravery and resilience along the way. From that day on, Ballerino Cappuccino became my loyal companion. Together, we danced through the fields and explored the vast world of Minecraft, a reminder that persistence and courage lead to the most magical experiences. Every time I look at my llama, I am reminded of that incredible journey and the beauty of the unexpected adventures that await in my ever-expanding blocky kingdom.
While you were telling the story, we got some kettle here, and it looks like it's having a hard time with the ordeal.
He almost passed the first test. He has a lot of HP, so I think he can handle the second test. It doesn't seem strange, but I think the teapot will defeat the golem. I believe in him. I wonder who will pass all the tests.
Yeah, I'm sure that this teapot will be able to beat the golem and make it to the next stage. That would be awesome, and you're right. He does have a lot of HP, 2 bars. I have much less.
Yay, he made it to the next stage. I wonder if he can make it to the next stage. He killed the golem without much effort. It was pretty easy, but there are still a lot of challenges ahead. Go ahead, Kettle.
I think this teapot has a name, but we listened a bit while you were telling the story of Ballerina Cappuccino in Minecraft. The story is interesting, but we listened to his name.
Our time is coming to an end, so I want to say goodbye to our viewers. Do not forget to put likes and subscribe to the channel. Goodbye, dear friends. Hey guys, today me and Steve will be watching a video on which sword is stronger against Italian brain rot animals.
Yes, hello everyone. But it's not just swords. There are different weapons to fight against Italian animals.
You're right. There will be swords and daggers and hammers and all sorts of fun meme weapons, and we'll test them all out.
First up is a regular little wooden dagger. I think it will do very little damage and won't kill anyone.
We'll be testing this dagger on a Cappuccino Assassino now. It's so small and cute. I feel sorry for it.
Cappuccino Assassino dies with 1 blow. I thought this little wooden dagger wasn't as strong. But apparently, because Cappuccino Assassino is also small, it works out that way.
The next one is some kind of frog with a wheel. Looks weird, but a small sword and handles it pretty easily, but longer than the Cappuccino Assassino already.
Even though it handles all the mobs, it's pretty long. I feel like the next weapons will be much faster at handling them.
He's almost done with the camel's fridges. Next we have Tung Sahur. But you're right, it's been quite a while and he's only on his 3rd mob.
We still have half of the mobs left, and what do we want from such a small sword? Next, we have something metal like a machete. I think it will do a good job.
I didn't notice, but the number of mobs killed is displayed at the top. The little wooden knife was only able to do 12. I wonder how many this machete can do.
Ha ha ha! I noticed different funny weapons near this panel. There is a sword. Chicken, very funny. But it's obviously stronger than this machete, by the way. You only get 30 seconds to kill mobs.
Time is running out, and I feel like he was able to do little more than a little wooden sword. It's sad.
Next in line, we have a sword in the shape of a fugu fish. That's funny. It's supposed to be spiny and do a lot of damage, by the way. You're wrong. The machete did as many kills as the first wooden sword, but yeah, it's sad.
I thought he did more than that, but I wonder how much the Fugu sword can do. That's an interesting idea, but I don't think it does much damage either.
Look how he can easily deal with Cappuccino Assassino. That's power, but you're right. I think it will be a bit more than the previous swords. I'm looking forward to some cool swords that will have a lot of damage and different effects, maybe.
Yeah, I stumbled upon it too. It's wild. I mean, how do you take a crocodile and make it sound like it's a bomb? What kind of swords do you think would be effective against it?
Honestly, I think something like a diamond sword would work well. You need something sharp to handle a bomb crocodile hybrid, but then you have Tralalero Tralala and all those other crazy names. What are they even doing?
Right? They're all over the place. Lirily Larila sounds like a spell you'd cast in a wizard's duel. Maybe you need an enchanted sword to combat that one. Something with a little magic.
Good point. And what about Bombambini Gusini? Sounds like it could explode if you look at it wrong. I can picture a netherite sword working well. Those babies are tough enough to withstand anything.
Definitely. And then there's Musini Quadricoptini. Sounds like a mouse with helicopter blades. Maybe a sword with fire aspect to toast it before it can fly away.
That would be effective. And when we encounter Tung 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 Sahur, I think we should probably use a sharpness sword, just to cut through the randomness. But what about Burr Burr Patapim? That one feels like it needs to be sliced through with finesse.
Yeah, maybe an elegant sword style would work. Something sleek like a silk touch sword. Then you've got Bobrito Bandito. Now that's personal. I think a classic iron sword would suit that battle just fine.
Iron works. And then we can't forget Cappuccino Assassino. Defeating a coffee assassin needs a strong weapon. Maybe a crossbow for some distance, since you don't want him sneaking up on you.
Good idea. La Vaca Saturno Saturnita sounds like a cow from another dimension. I'd say a trident might just do the trick. Throw it and see if it returns. Perfect for interdimensional cow battles.
Trident it is, and what about the ballerina cappuccina? A dancing cappuccino? That one needs something charming. I'm thinking a sword with a bit of a twist. Maybe even a musical sword that plays notes when you swing.
That would confuse her for sure. Then we have Boneca Ambalabu. That just sounds creepy. Probably best to go with a sword made for stealth. Something like a stone sword to keep it low profile.
Very tactical. Burbaloni Lulioli sounds like a party waiting to happen. For that, I'd grab a cake sword. Never underestimate the power of cake in battle.
Always a solid choice. And let's not forget about Chimpanzini Bananini. We couldn't go in without enchanted bows to keep them at bay. Bananas are slippery.
Agreed. Finally, there's Trippy Troppy Troppa Trippa. That's just chaotic. Maybe 2 swords, 1 in each hand, and just go wild.
Sounds like a plan. Fighting chaos with more chaos. It seems fitting for these memes.
Remember, you fought Tung 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 Sahur in Minecraft. Can you tell me about it?
As I stood at the edge of the dense, eerie forest, I could feel a chill running down my spine. The moonlight barely penetrated the thick canopy of leaves above me, casting long shadows that danced ominously on the ground. I had heard whispers about the terrifying wooden beast known as Tung Sahur, a creature said to be made entirely of twisted branches and old oak, wielding a massive club that could shatter stone. The sky was clear, but there was a heaviness in the air, as if the world was holding its breath. I knew I had to be cautious. This wasn't just any ordinary adventure. There were rumors that Tung Sahur had a lair deep within the forest, and I was determined to face it. Clutching my enchanted sword tightly, I whispered a quick prayer to the Minecraft gods for strength and courage.
Wow. I would also like to personally meet any of the Italian animals in Minecraft and fight with him with my personal sword. But so far, except for the dragon from the Ender and the usual zombies, I have not seen anyone there. Keep going. I'm very interested in how it ends.
As I ventured deeper into the woods, the sounds of the night surrounded me. The rustling of leaves, the distant hooting of an owl, and the occasional snap of a twig underfoot filled the silence. Suddenly, I heard a loud crash, followed by a guttural roar that echoed through the trees. My heart raced. Was that him? I spotted a clearing up ahead, and as I approached, there he was. Tung 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 Sahur, towering over me with his grotesque wooden body and that enormous club resting on his shoulder. His eyes glowed with a menacing light, and I could feel the weight of his gaze as he turned to face me. Come to take your last stand, little girl, he bellowed, his voice a low rumble like thunder. I couldn't let my fear show. With every ounce of determination I had, I raised my sword, ready to fight. I'm not afraid of you, I shouted back.
That's very cool. I hope I get to fight him someday. Look, we're moving on to the chainsaw. I wonder how much damage it does.
Wow, the chainsaw handles really fast. Can it really kill everyone? But then there's half the cool weapons. I wonder how much stronger they are than the chainsaw.
I don't think a chainsaw can kill all the Italian animals, but you're right, there are still a lot of weapons out there. But the chainsaw does pretty well. I like it. I'd love to play with it in Minecraft.
Our time is coming to an end, and I want to say goodbye to our viewers. Put likes and subscribe to our channel and write comments. We will be very happy and we'll read everything. Bye-bye, everyone. Hello, dear friends. Today, me and Steve will watch a cool video about Tunner from Sprunky in Minecraft.
Yeah, today we're going to be looking for the horror version of it, and it looks like we're going to have to go down some kind of underground tunnel.
I do not like tunnels. There are spiders and spider webs, and in this one even more so there may be monsters. I think the path will be difficult.
Well, so far this tunnel doesn't look scary. It's even lit up, and there are pictures of this horror character hanging around.
Look, you have to choose which door to go to next. I don't like these questions. There's gotta be a catch.
We don't need Sky, we need Tunner. It looks like we're going through another door, either door 2 or door 3. We don't need any other character.
Have you heard about this new game called Sprunky? It's like a fan-made version of Incredibox.
Oh yeah, I've seen some clips of it online. It's basically a music creation game, right? How does it work?
Exactly! You drag and drop different characters onto the screen, and each one makes its own unique sound. You can combine them to create your own music tracks.
That sounds really cool. I love how Incredibox lets you mix sounds too, but I guess Sprunky brings a fresh twist to it. Are there a lot of characters to choose from?
Yeah, there are quite a few characters with different sounds, like beatboxing and melodies. What's interesting is that some characters have unique or even edgy designs. It sparked some debate among players, though.
I can imagine. Sometimes those creative choices can be a bit controversial, but it's great that the game encourages mixing and sharing music. How did it even come about?
It started as a mod of Incredibox on the Scratch platform, but it got removed because it violated some rules. Then, the developer Nyanko BF Law launched it on other platforms, and it really took off from there.
That's pretty impressive. It's nice to see a community build around a game, especially when they can share their own mixes. Do you think we'll see more expansions or updates for it in the future?
I hope so. The gameplay is really engaging, and with so many fans, it's likely the developer will add more content. Plus, those customizable visuals make creating music even more fun.
Sounds like a great way to express creativity. I should definitely check it out and give it a try. Music games like this can really spark inspiration.
Absolutely! I think you'll love it. Let's jam together sometime and see what cool mixes we can come up with.
And get this, it's got 2 modes, normal and horror. You start with happy little dudes like Orange or Veneria Green, but if you add black, everything turns creepy.
Whoa, like a Herobrine jump scare.
Kinda. The whole stage goes dark and characters transform. Like Funbot becomes this glitchy nightmare, but the music gets epic.
How do you even play it?
Easy. Go to sprunky.gg, drag characters to the stage. They're split into 4 groups. Beats like Kluker or Silver for drums. Effects like Sky Blue for swooshes. Melodies like Simon Yellow's tunes. Vocals like Pinky Pink's singing.
Any secret characters?
Totally unlock Rebel or a fucking flower by mixing specific combos. There's even an OC maker to design your own characters.
That's cooler than Enchanted Diamonds. Why is it called Sprunky, though?
No clue. Maybe because it's sprinkled with weirdness. Oh, and the wikisprunkercharacters.org has lore for everyone, like Jevin Blue being a DJ.
Let's try it. I want to mix Mr. Sun's melodies with Gray's effects.
Race you to unlock horror mode first. Winner gets netherite.
While we're looking for Tunner, I want to tell the story of how I met Oren in Minecraft. Are you interested?
Yeah, come on, I'd really like to hear it.
All right. Let me tell you about the weirdest, coolest thing that's ever happened to me in Minecraft. You know me? I'm always up for an adventure, right? Well, I'd heard whispers around the villages, crazy rumors about musical creatures, things that didn't quite fit in our blocky world. Specifically, I was obsessed with finding this one sound I heard echoing one night. I can't even begin to describe it. It just sounded like a cool beat. Then one day, old Betty from the village told me about a floating DJ booth somewhere out in the world, and I had to see it. So, of course, I immediately packed my things. A few stacks of steak, my trusty diamond axe, and a whole bunch of torches, and set off. It wasn't easy, let me tell you. First, I had to cross this massive desert. I nearly died of thirst, even with my water skin. Then, I ran into a whole horde of zombies and skeletons in a dark forest. I barely made it out of there alive, dodging creepers and hacking away with my axe until the sun finally rose. But the absolute worst was the cave spider den. I got poisoned like 10 times. I had to use like all my milk. After all that, I found myself climbing these ridiculously tall snow-covered mountains. I was freezing and kept falling off, but I kept pushing myself. I felt like I was going crazy, but I had to keep going to find the DJ booth. Finally, just when I was about to give up, I saw it. Perched on top of the highest peak, glowing with a soft light, was the booth. But there was a figure inside. Oren was in the booth, and he looked right at me. He didn't look like anything I'd ever seen in Minecraft. He was all smooth and rounded, no sharp edges, and he was surrounded by these floating instruments and sound pads. But it was his music. That was what drew me in. He was spinning these amazing beats, mixing sounds I'd never even imagined. I was so speechless I nearly fell off the mountain. I climbed up to the booth and waved. He stopped the music and gave me a little bow. He handed me a pair of glowing headphones, and when I put them on, I could hear every layer of the music and Oren's incredible voice, like I was inside the song. We jammed together for what felt like hours. I don't know how to explain it, but it was like we spoke the same language even though we didn't say a word. We created music that made the sun shine brighter and the stars dance in the sky. It was pure, unadulterated magic. Oren's become my best friend. He taught me so much about music and about seeing the world in a different way. Now, whenever I need a break from the usual Minecraft grind, I head up to that mountain and jam with Oren. It's a reminder that even in a world of blocks and predictable patterns, there's always room for surprises and for the beauty of music.
Yeah, it's all about creating your own musical mixes with unique characters. There are about 20 different characters that you can use, each with their own distinct sounds. You have characters for beats, effects, melodies, and vocals.
That sounds awesome! How do you actually play it?
It's super simple. You just go to their site, sprunky.gg, and drag the characters onto the stage to create your mix. You can mix and match different character types to come up with some pretty cool composition.
What types of characters are there? Are there any favorites you like? What types of characters are there? Are there any favorites you like?
There are 4 main categories: beats, effects, melodies, and vocals. For example, the orange character, Oren, is great for beats, and then there's Simon for melodies, who's yellow. What really adds a twist is the horror mode. If you use the black character, everything goes dark and the characters transform into creepy versions of themselves.
Whoa, that sounds like a major change. Does it make the music different too?
I think we can say goodbye to our viewers. The time is coming to an end. Put likes and subscribe to our channel and write comments. We will definitely read everything. Bye.
Hey everybody, today me and Steve are gonna watch the new Ballerina Cappuccina in Minecraft.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, Alex, you're right. Look, there's a pink building in front of us.
I think it's the way to Ballerina Cappuccina. It's like some kind of big bridge.
I really want to see her in Minecraft. What does she look like?
It looks the same as usual, just in the form of cubes. We have to find it soon.
Why did she build such a big bridge? Does she live so far away?
Look, she wants us to go on a trolley car, and there's a whole railroad. That's cool.
Don't even have to craft. She left a wagon in the chest.
There's a whole roller coaster ride down there. It's really cool. I hope I don't throw up, but it looks very impressive.
Yeah, roller coasters are cool, but look what's in there. Some kind of cage. There's probably someone trapped in it. I wonder who.
Oh, I know who it is. I've seen them all on YouTube shorts. It's La Vaca Saturnita.
I understand it's a cow aligned with the planet Saturn. Very interesting. And the name is in Italian.
Wow! It also says its name. Very cool. I guess there will be other animals in the other cages, but we have to free this one first.
By the way, like you said, it's really in the shape of a cube. Saturn planet is in the shape of a ball, but here it's represented as a cube because we're in Minecraft.
I thought we were here to save him, but I guess not.
Have you been seeing those incredibly strange Italian animal shorts on YouTube? They've been popping up everywhere on my feed lately.
I mean those bizarre brain rot ones that seem to be infecting everyone's minds? Yeah, I've seen them. What's up? Are you finally succumbing to their weird charm?
I think I already have. I keep hearing Bombardiro Crocodilo echoing in my sleep now. I can't shake it. It's like some kind of earworm designed specifically to drive me mad.
Tell me about it. Tralalero tralala is permanently etched into my brain. I try to think about something else, anything else, but it just keeps looping. It's almost hypnotic.
It's the randomness of it all that gets me. Like, literally Lorilla. Where did that even originate? What's the context? What does it even mean?
That's the beauty of it, isn't it? There is no context. It's pure, unadulterated nonsense. And Bombambini Gusini, what is that even supposed to be? A tiny goose that explodes?
Maybe some kind of bizarre regional pasta dish that only exists in a fever dream? I honestly don't know. But Mussini quadricoptini is definitely my favorite. A mouse piloting a tiny quadcopter. The image is both absurd and strangely appealing.
Yeah, that one's undeniably brilliant in its sheer silliness. But what about tung sahur? What does that even mean? Some kind of weird tribal chant?
Maybe some kind of ancient Italian breakfast ritual? I'm just grasping at straws here. The internet has broken me.
Could be. And then there's brr brr patapim, which seems to be the punctuation at the end of every single one of these shorts. It's pure, unadulterated chaos in sound form.
It's utterly strange. My brain is starting to melt.
But also, strangely catchy, right? You can't deny it. You find yourself humming along despite yourself.
I guess so. I think I desperately need a break from YouTube before I completely lose my grip on reality. I need to cleanse my mind.
Good luck with that. Once the Bombardiro Crocodilo gets its hooks in you, there's no escape.
Oh, you mean like Bombardiro Crocodilo or Tralalero Tralala? Yeah, they're everywhere. What even are those?
No clue, but I keep hearing Lirili Larila and Bombambini Gusini in my head now. It's like they're designed to stick.
Right? And the weirdest part is how they mix Italian-sounding gibberish with random animals. Mussini quadricoptini? Since when do mice fly helicopters?
Or tung sahur. What does that mean? It's just noise, but somehow it works?
Maybe because it's so absurd. Like, brr, brr, patapim sounds like a frozen chicken doing the Macarena.
Babrito Bandito, though. That one's kinda catchy. I could see it as a mob name.
Imagine a creeper, but it's yelling Cappuccino Assassino before exploding.
Or a cow named La Vaca Saturnita orbiting the nether. It's so dumb, but...
But you can't stop watching. Ballerina Cappuccina doing pirouettes in a mushroom field.
Exactly. And the comments are just people spamming Boneca Ambalabu or Chimpanzini Bananini. 0 sense. Maximum chaos.
It's like someone fed Google Translate to a zombie, and this is what came out.
Still, Trippy Troppy Troppa Trippa might be my new crafting chant.
Don't! The algorithm's already cursed us enough.
Too late. Burbaloni Lulioli is my sleep paralysis demon now.
We need to mine more obsidian. Distract ourselves.
Or make a Tralalero Tralala shrine. For science!
Science? Sure. Let's just avoid shorts for a week.
Laughs an inevitable doom scroll.
As the sun began to set in the pixelated horizon, casting long shadows across the blocky landscape, I found myself wandering through an unfamiliar biome, the air thick with an eerie silence. My trusty pickaxe was slung across my back, and I felt the familiar thrill of adventure coursing through my veins. I had heard whispers from fellow players about strange creatures lurking in these parts, but nothing could prepare me for what I was about to encounter. Suddenly, out of the dense forest, there emerged a massive figure towering above the treetops. It was unlike anything I had ever seen before. Its body was crafted from giant wooden blocks, intricately woven together like a gnarled tree from some ancient tale. Wisps of leaves danced around its head, held aloft as if it were wearing a crown. But the most terrifying feature of all was the enormous club it wielded, constructed from what appeared to be solid oak, with jagged edges that gleamed ominously in the fading light. My heart raced as I took a cautious step back. This was no ordinary mob. It was Tung 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 Sahur, a name that resonated through the realms like a thunderclap. Legend had it that this creature was a guardian of the forest, protecting its secrets from any who dared to intrude. In that moment, I felt small and vulnerable, a lone Steve facing the wrath of a colossal wooden sentinel. As the giant began to move, I watched in awe and dread. It stomped towards me, each footfall sending vibrations through the ground. I could almost hear the creaking of the wood as it shifted, like a ship at sea. The leaves surrounding its head rustled with life, as if the forest itself was imbued within this creature. It raised its club, and I braced myself for an impending confrontation. But then, something unexpected happened. Instead of swinging its weapon, Tung 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 Sahur paused. It lowered its club slightly and tilted its head as if studying me. Was it curious? I had no idea what to do. Should I run in fear or stand my ground? My fingers twitched nervously around my sword.
We successfully found Ballerino Cappuccino. So the video is coming to an end. Put likes and subscribe to the channel and write comments. We will definitely read everything. Bye, everyone.
Ballerina cappuccina.
Hello, dear friends. Today we are going to watch a cool video about horror characters of Minecraft.
Look, a resident with a haircut proposes marriage to another resident.
Ooh, looks like he loved one of those residents. Now he wants to get a cool haircut at a barbershop.
That zombie has a really cool beard. It really suits.
He wants to look cool, too. Look, there's a lot of different horror characters in this barbershop. Do they really all want a cool haircut?
This resident got a haircut like some ancient Greek philosopher. It looks weird but fun.
Our little resident didn't want to stand in line and killed another. And how is he going to get a haircut if he's bald?
It's very simple. It's Minecraft, anything's possible, but I think it's a wig.
He's smiling like that. I guess he likes his new haircut. Now he can find a wife.
Now he just came home, the resident walked him home, and then what?
I get it. There's a catch to this barbershop. There's no way horror characters just cut people's hair. It's a trap.
Hey, Alex, do you remember that time we decided to explore that mountainous biome?
Oh, the one where we found that giant cave system? Absolutely! I still can't get over how we both fell into that ravine without even noticing it.
Right? We were just minding our own business, casually mining some coal and talking about building our new treehouse. Then suddenly you yelled, "Look out!" And before I knew it, I was tumbling down.
Laughs, I didn't mean to scare you. I just saw that creeper sneak up on you like a ninja. I thought you were a goner.
A goner? That's an understatement. I hit the ground and instantly panicked. I had no idea where I was or that I was landing right next to a pack of zombies.
Oh man, I remember. You got up and just started swinging your axe like a madman. You took out 2 of them before finally remembering to eat something.
I was so desperate to survive. But then I had that moment of epiphany while munching on a cooked pork chop, realizing I actually had an army of skeletons fighting the zombies for me.
Yeah, that was like watching the best reality show ever. You kept running around while the skeletons were shooting each other to get to you.
And I was just standing there completely bewildered. I mean, who knew that would happen? I thought I was going to lose everything, including my diamond pickaxe.
Speaking of that pickaxe, you should have seen your face when you finally managed to escape all that chaos. You looked like you had seen a ghost when you realized it was still in your inventory.
I know. I was so relieved. but then we thought we'd finally be safe back on the surface. Remember how we celebrated by making a campfire?
Of course! We roasted marshmallows and thought we were so clever. But then out of nowhere, that baby zombie came charging at us.
Laughs, that thing was like a little rocket. It was so fast. I could hardly move, and you were running in circles screaming, "Get it away! Get it away!"
It was only after I tripped over a block and face-planted that I realized I just provided it a clear path to you. You were so focused on trying to fight it off that you didn't notice me lying there.
Well, I definitely appreciated the distraction. We finally managed to take it down, and it dropped a feather. A single feather. After all that chaos, that was our reward.
But it made for a great story. We laugh every time we retell it. Next time, though, let's try to explore a bit more carefully, all right?
Agreed, but I think we both know that with our luck, it'll be another wild adventure next time.
Absolutely! That's the spirit! Now what should we conquer next? Absolutely! That's the spirit! Now what should we conquer next?
Remember that time we decided to build an underwater base? I thought it would be the ultimate survival hideout.
Oh, how could I forget? It started out so well, and then we found ourselves in a total disaster!
Right? We were so confident digging out that entire area, creating little rooms. I even had plans for an aquarium, but then, as we were placing glass, this drowned zombie appeared out of nowhere.
Laughs, I remember that. You screamed so loudly I thought the fish in the sea would hear you. You dropped the glass blocks everywhere.
I panicked. I mean, who expects to be attacked while decorating?
Well, I was busy trying to fend it off. You just stood there like a statue for a moment. I nearly got overwhelmed trying to protect you.
In all the chaos, we ended up flooding our base. Water was pouring in from all sides like we were in a scene from a disaster movie.
I was swimming around, trying to put torches down underwater to light the place up, but torches just keep floating away. You were trying to bring in gravel to plug the holes, but ended up just creating an even bigger leak.
It was a classic case of let's fix this gone wrong. We barely managed to escape before the whole base turned into a massive aquarium for the drowned. I can't believe we thought it was a good idea in the first place.
But at least we had fun! And that's when we decided to build our new base high up in the mountains instead. No drowned zombies there.
True. And who could forget our first night in the mountain base? I thought it was going to be peaceful, just us overlooking the world.
Right until that skeleton ambushed us. It was like it was waiting for us. You were trying to put down beds, and I was dodging arrows left and right.
Laughs, I can still see you doing that awkward sideways dance to avoid the shots. You look so ridiculous.
Better ridiculous than dead. But the best part was when I missed the skeleton and accidentally hit that sheep instead. It was like a chain reaction.
Sheep started running everywhere, and then we had a whole flock stampeding toward us. We ended up having to fend off both the skeleton and a herd of panicking sheep.
It was pure chaos. And when dawn finally came, and we realized we had just defended our mountain fortress from both undead and livestock, I felt like we'd accomplished a legendary feat.
Definitely a story to tell. We should write these down. Who knows? Someday they might become legends in the Minecraft world.
I have a feeling they already are. So what's our next great adventure?
How about a treasure hunt in the desert? We could look for temples and see if we can avoid another disaster.
Only if we can put torches on our treasure map. I feel like we'll definitely need light this time.
Remember that time we were mining deep down in the caves and found that huge lava lake?
Oh, how could I forget? It was terrifying. I was just digging away and suddenly you yelled, "Lava!" I thought my pickaxe would break.
Right. I was just about to mine some diamonds, and there it was, bubbling and glowing. I panicked and accidentally broke the block under my feet. I thought I was toast.
Laughs, I can picture you hanging over the edge, flailing your arms like a chicken. It was like something out of a cartoon.
Exactly, and then I dropped my water bucket trying to save myself. It turned into a race against time to find another water source so I could actually avoid falling in.
I remember you sprinting all around the caves like some kind of frantic adventurer while I stood there giggling. 'Cause let's be honest, it was hilarious.
Well, you would have laughed even harder if you'd seen my face when I finally found a water source. I poured it down just in time to stop myself from diving head first into that lava lake. Talk about a close call.
And what about our encounter with that Enderman?
Oh man, I was looking at it, trying to figure out why it was so tall, and I swear it just blinked at me. And the moment I realized it was staring back, I accidentally hit it.
Laughs. You know what happened next! You started running in circles, screaming like a total goofball. The poor Enderman was just trying to mind its own business.